The year was 1977. Do you remember where you were and what you were doing and what you were wearing? Do you remember the music? Hi, I'm Mr. Mike. That's what the kids at church call me. And welcome to this episode of In My Musical Opinion, the channel where I go through every #1 hit song according to the US Billboard Pop Charts from a year in rock and roll history. Tell you who recorded the song, how many weeks it remained in the #1 position, and maybe a few more interesting bits of musical trivia. And then, after I go through every #1 song, I'll be giving you my musical opinion to my top 5 songs from that list of #1s. So, stick around till the end. But before we get into today's video, I hope you will give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and new subscribers to this channel are always welcome. I'd love to have you. Today, I'll be going through the year 1977. What was I doing? Well, I got promoted to a supervisor position where I worked. And that was a challenge at the tender age of 23. And my wife and I bought our first house, which we still live in today. Almost, 48 years later. And music was shifting from rock to disco. Trust me, rock and disco are not the same. So let's go through every #1 hit song from 1977. There are 28 #1 songs in 77, with 19 of them at #1 for only 1 week. And then stick around to the end to see which ones are, in my musical opinion, my top 5 hits from that year. I think we'll agree on any of them? Maybe. And if we don't, that's okay. Kicking off at #1 for the year 1977 is You Don't Have to Be a Star to Be in My Show by husband and wife duo Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr. This song won the couple a Grammy Award for Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocals in 1977. This song remained at #1 for 1 week. Following Marilyn and Billy, we have You Make Me Feel Like Dancin' by Leo Sayer. Ray Parker Jr. claims that the song was stolen from him after he played it in a studio for an executive who promised he would get credit. Well, he didn't. The songwriting is credited to Leo Sayer and Vinnie Poncia. This song spent 1 week at the #1 position. Next, we have I Wish by Stevie Wonder. Written by Stevie Wonder, Wonder claims the lyrics that wound up in this song deal with his childhood and teenage experiences. This song is from his 18th album, Songs in the Key of Life, and remained at #1 for 1 week. Our fourth #1 for 1977 is Car Wash by Rose Royce. The song was written by the ex-Motown producer Norman Whitfield. The Car Wash, where everything is always cool and the boss don't mind sometimes if you act like a fool. Car Wash stayed at number 1 for 1 week.
Come some of the work gets kind of hard, and this ain't no place to be if you plan on being a star.
Next, we have a song whose lyrics talk about a love triangle. It's Torn Between Two Lovers by Mary McGregor. The song was written by Peter Yarrow, formerly of Peter, Paul, and Mary, and Philip Jarrell. It hit number 1 on both the pop charts and the easy listening charts. The song remained at number 1 for 2 weeks.
Torn between two lovers, feeling like a fool. Loving you both is breaking all the rules.
Moving on to our next number 1 is Blinded by the Light by Manfred Mann's Earth Band. The song was written by Bruce Springsteen in 1973. And just to get this straight, the lyrics are wrapped up like a deuce, another runner in the night, which is referring to a 1932 Ford Deuce Coupe. Now you got it. Blinded by the Light stayed on top for 1 week. Next, we have New Kid in Town by the Eagles. This is their 3rd straight year with a number 1 hit. This song was written by Glenn Frey, Don Henley, and J.D. Souther, and was off their Hotel California album. The band says the lyrics reflect their anxiety about being replaced by a more popular band. New Kid in Town stayed on top of the charts for 1 week.
Will she still love you when you're not around?
Next, in 1977, we have Love Theme from A Star Is Born by Barbra Streisand. This song is from the movie of the same name, starring Streisand and Chris Christopherson. Written by Streisand and Paul Williams, the duo won a Grammy Award for Song of the Year. The song stayed at number 1 for 3 weeks. This duo had a total of 6 number 1 hits, and this one was their first. It's Hall & Oates with Rich Girl. When Daryl Hall wrote this song, he said it was initially written about a rich guy that he knew, and that this rich guy could rely on his old man's money. He said that didn't sound quite right, so he changed it to a Rich Girl. Rich Girl remained at number 1 for 2 weeks. In the 70s, as the rumor has it, what was Sweden's biggest export? Answer: ABBA. Their first American hit was in 1974, and now in 77 they topped the charts with Dancing Queen. This was ABBA's only #1 hit in the US. This song spent 14 weeks as #1 in Sweden, made it to #1 in more than a dozen countries, but only spent 1 week at #1 in the US. It's mid-April, and our new #1 is Don't Give Up on Us, Baby by David Soul. David Soul also appeared in the TV show Starsky and Hutch, playing the part of Sergeant Kenneth Richard Hutchinson. This was Soul's only top 40 hit, but it stayed at #1 for 1 week.
Just for a rainy evening, when maybe stars are few.
Coming up next is Don't Leave Me This Way by Thelma Houston. This song was written by Kenneth Gamble, Leon Huff, and Carrie Gilbert. It was originally released in 1975 by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. It remained at #1 for 1 week.
You started this fire down in my soul. Now can't you see it's burning out of control? Come on, satisfy the need in me.
Once again, we have a lot of songs that are staying at #1 for only 1 week. What about this next song? It's Southern Nights by Glenn Campbell. The song was written and performed by American musician Alan Toussaint in 1975. Campbell heard the song and recorded it in 1977. This song remained at #1 for 1 week.
Whistling tunes that you know and love so. Southern nights, just as good even when closed your eyes.
This next #1 is this band's second #1 hit in 1977. Once again, it's the Eagles with their next #1 hit song, Hotel California. Yeah, we all know this one. The music to this song was written by Don Felder, and the lyrics were written by Don Henley and Glenn Frey. The song was awarded the Grammy Award for Record of the Year in 1978. Hotel California stayed at #1 for 1 week.
Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely face.
Plenty of room at the Hotel California.
Coming up next, we have When I Need You by Leo Sayer. This is his second #1 US hit in 1977. The song was written by Albert Hammond, who performed the 1972 hit It Never Rains in Southern California, a great song that should have made it to #1, and Carol Bayer Sager, who wrote the lyrics to the song, remember this one? Groovy Kind of Love by Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders. The song remained at #1 for 1 week.
And all that I so wanna give you, it's only a heartbeat away. When
We're still in the month of May, and our next #1 hit is Sir Duke by Stevie Wonder. This also was Stevie's second #1 hit in 1977. Wonder wrote the song as a tribute to Duke Ellington, the jazz composer, bandleader, and pianist who had influenced him as a musician. Sir Duke remained at #1 for 3 weeks.
you can feel it, I love
Next, we have KC and the Sunshine Band with I'm Your Boogeyman. The song was written and produced by Harry Wayne Casey and Richard Finch. In case you may be wondering, Richard Finch was the bass player for the Sunshine Band and co-wrote many of their hit songs. Boogeyman remained at number 1 for 1 week. Not a lot of songs with staying power here in 1977.
Hey, where's the beat?
And here's another one. It's Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. The song was written and sung by Fleetwood Mac's Stevie Nicks and was on the band's 11th studio album, Rumors. This was their only number 1 hit in the US. The song stayed at number 1 for 1 week. Our next number 1 is Got to Give It Up, Part 1 by Marvin Gaye. Written by Gaye and produced by Art Stewart, the song was a response to a request from Gaye's record label that he perform disco music. The song remained at number 1 for 1 week. If you were alive in 1977, you saw this movie. I'll give you a hint. The theme to this movie was performed by Bill Conti. Did you guess the song in the movie? The song is Gonna Fly Now. The theme from what movie? Rocky. Adrian. Rocky Balboa defeats Apollo Creed. Gonna Fly Now remained at number 1 for 1 week. "20 songs down, and we're still in the beginning of July." Next, we have Alan O'Day with his number 1 hit song, Undercover Angel. O'Day had also composed Angie Baby, a number 1 hit for Helen Reddy. The success of these 2 songs means O'Day is among the few singer-songwriters who wrote a chart topper for themselves and one for another artist. The song was number 1 for 1 week. Our next number 1 is Da-Doo Ron Ron by Sean Cassidy. Sean Cassidy is the son of Shirley Jones and Jack Cassidy, and half-brother to David Cassidy of the Partridge Family fame. This song first became a popular top 5 hit single for the American girl group The Crystals in 1963. Da-Doo Run Run, and now another 1 week number 1 hit wonder. Mid-July brought us Looks Like We Made It by Barry Manilow. Concerning the lyrics to this song, lyricist Will Jennings said this, and I quote, "Despite the optimism suggested by the song's title, the narrator is actually stating the fact that he and his ex-lover have finally found happiness and fulfillment, though not with each other. They have indeed made it, but apart, not together. Thank you, that just busted my bubble. This song spent 1 week at number 1. Did you know, and you probably do, that the three Bee Gees had another brother? And his name was Andy Gibb. And this next song is his first number 1 hit in the US. The song is I Just Want to Be Your Everything. The song was written by older brother Barry Gibb and was off Andy's debut album, which was... What was his debut album? Come on, you know it. Flowing Waters. This song stayed at number 1 for an impressive total of 4 weeks.
The things you are to me, and not some puppet on a string.
In 1975, the Eagles had a number 1 hit with the song Best of My Love. And here we are 2 years later with a different song with the same title and a different group. This time it's The Emotions with Best of My Love. In 1978, The Emotions won a Grammy Award for Best R&B Vocal Performance by a Duo, Group, or Chorus. This song spent an amazing 5 weeks at number 1. Hey, now we're talking. I'll give you a hint to this next number 1 song. George Lucas. Think you have it? If you were alive in the 70s, you better get this one. It's Star Wars theme by Miko. When you hear the music, you know the movie. That's no moon, it's a space station. Great line, Obi-Wan. This song stayed at number 1 for 2 weeks. This next female artist had a dad who was also a famous singer. His name is Pat Boone, and her name is Debbie Boone. And she dominates 1977 with the song You Light Up My Life. Written by Joseph Brooks as a love song, the devout Boone interpreted it as inspirational and proclaimed that it was instead God who lit up her life. The song stayed at number 1 for an amazing 10, count them, 10 weeks. This next group ends 1977 with How Deep Is Your Love? Yes, it's the Bee Gees. Written by the Gibb brothers, Barry Gibb, and twins Robin Gibb and Maurice Gibb. This song remained at number 1 for the final 2 weeks of 1977 and then begins 1978 as number 1 for another week, making it a US number 1 hit song for a total of 3 weeks.
Living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let
So there you have it. The 28 number one hit songs from the US Billboard Pop Charts from 1977. And as with any year in rock and roll history, there are plenty of other songs that were out that we loved even more than these number one hits. 3 songs from 1977 that I really liked that did not make the number one are Weekend in New England by Barry Manilow, only made it to number 10. So Into You by the Atlanta Rhythm Section, only made it to the number 7. And Sway Into the Music by Johnny Rivers, only made it to number 10. What a great dancing song. Unfortunately, they never made it to the number 1 position. And in this show, I just rate the number 1 songs. So, how does Mr. Mike rate them? Well, I based my ratings on 4 things. Well, you thought I was going to say 3, didn't you? On 4 things. Number 1, the memories. Number 2, the music. Number 3, the lyrics. And number 4, maybe something else. And for me, every song can be based on something different, or maybe even a combination of a couple of those things. So which ones, in my musical opinion, are my top 1977 favorites? There are 28 to choose from, and in my musical opinion, I really didn't like too many of them. So I'm not going to be too excited about any of these choices. But here you go. And my number 5 is You Don't Have to Be a Star to Be in My Show by Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr. Why this song? Because Marilyn McCoo is hot. I liked her when she sang in The Fifth Dimension. Well, that's not a good reason, Mr. Mike. Hey, and get your own YouTube channel. Don't be dissing Mr. Mike. Marilyn McCoo could have sung Mary Had a Little Lamb, and she would have made my top 5. You Don't Have to Be a Star at my number 5.
You don't have to be a star, baby, to be in my show.
You don't have
Next, at my number 4 is Torn Between Two Lovers by Mary McGregor. I've written quite a few songs in my years, and I write songs of love's fantasies, failures, and fortunes. It's the human experience put to music. And that's exactly what this song is. A real love situation that many people do find themselves in. Hey, I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying it's real and it happens. Torn Between Two Lovers as my number 4.
Feeling like a fool. Loving both of you is breaking all the rules.
Moving on to my number 3 is You Light Up My Life by Debbie Boone. I remember being at work one day around Christmas of 1977, and I walked past this man and he turned to me and said, "Isn't that a beautiful song?" And I asked him which song was that. He said, "You Light Up My Life." Well, I have to agree with him. It is a beautiful song. And I hope you can light up someone's life too. You Light Up My Life comes in at my number 3.
light up my life. You give me hope to care.
My daughter was born in 1984. From the age of 3, she was dancing. And she was a very good dancer. I always thought of her as my dancing queen. So, my number 2 song for 1977 is Dancing Queen by ABBA. My first reason is that I just like the music that ABBA produces. And yes, I'm a closet ABBA fan. But my second reason is obvious. I think of my little girl every time I hear this song. ABBA, Dancing Queen, as my number 2 for 1977. And my favorite number 1 song of 1977 is Hotel California by the Eagles. I really like the music performed by the Eagles. And of all the Eagles members, I've always liked Don Felder the best. And the music to this song is his. And to watch him and Joe Walsh play that dueling guitar lead at the end of the song with Felder on that double-neck Gibson is just awesome. Hotel California, my number 1 out of all the number 1s for 1977.
Welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely place.
Well, there you have it. The 28 number 1 hit songs from the year 1977 and, in my musical opinion, my top 5 from that year. What were your top 5 songs from this year? I'm sure you like these songs, these number 1s, better than I did. At least I hope so. Leave your favorites in the comments below. I do love reading about the songs that are your favorites. And I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, revisiting the number 1 hit songs from 1977. Come back again when I take us through another year in rock and roll history. Look at every number 1 hit song from that year, and then, in my musical opinion, give you my top 5. This is Mr. Mike, and I'll see you next time in our next episode of In My Musical Opinion. Keep rockin'.
I gotta have more cowbell.